Hi everybody, Jane here, and I am actually coming to you today live from Lockville Canal, one of our historic sites in Ohio. And I wanted to use this time to review a movie I saw recently. It's a time travel romance, and I am actually in the process of writing a time travel romance featuring the canal. So it was really an inspiration to be here, but I also wanted to make sure that I shared the things that I think this movie did really well and the things that I didn't think it did well as a time travel romance. So first things first, the acting was great. I am a huge fan of Hugh Jackman, and he did an amazing job as his character Leopold. I did want to warn you, this review will contain spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to see it before continuing on this video. So, the basic premise of the story is Leopold is an aristocrat who has lost much of his fortune. And he is supposed to be marrying a girl who is a wealthy American heiress. And he, in a long, complicated way, falls through a time loop and ends up in modern day. In modern day time, and he runs into his grandson, who knew about the time loop and kind of was how this whole thing got started. And the grandson convinces him that the future is real and that he really is here. And the grandson also happens to have an ex-girlfriend who is Kate. Kate is a big businesswoman. She is very powerful. She's very much the career woman. Neat girl, but very, very modern. Obviously her last boyfriend, it hasn't been great, and there's, a little bit of tension with him, and that is Leopold's grandson. So she does something with advertising, and she realizes that Leopold would be a great spokesperson for this product that is a low-fat butter substitute. So she convinces him to be involved in it, and as they're doing this whole recording thing, they spend time together, fall in love, and he has to go back to the past. And when he does, at the very end, she decides that she is also going to go. And so at the very end, they are in this room, and he's supposed to be announcing who he's chosen to marry, and he announces that he's marrying her, and everybody lives happily ever after. I love time travel romances, so that was a plus. But overall, this one only got about a 3 out of 5 stars for me. And I'll tell you why. I had a lot of problem with certain elements of the story. The main thing was the characters and my belief in their ability to have a happily ever after, based on who they were. So, Leopold has to marry an heiress, but Kate she was rich and wealthy and doing fairly well in modern times, but she's not bringing any of that money with her. And even if she did, it's not like they could spend it. It would be modern. So he's basically a poor man marrying a girl who is not bringing any money into the family, which is the whole purpose of him getting married. And so they're going to be living basically in extreme poverty. And we all have this romantic view of, love that bypasses financial difficulties. But the reality is that, very few people really can manage the, Sonny and Cher song of, oh, they say our love can't pay the rent. Before it's earned, our money's all been spent. But I got you, babe. Okay, I have been in that situation, and let me tell you, you really can only go so far in extreme poverty. And, when you can't pay the bills, when you barely can afford a place to live, or when you lose the place that you're living in, it causes a lot of tension in a real life romance. And so, even though we have this beautiful, oh, she gave up all this high-powered life for him, the fact remains they're poor now, and they're going to basically be living in poverty and maybe in a hut in the 1800s. That doesn't sound like a good thing. And she's used to all these modern conveniences. How is she going to handle that? I certainly wouldn't be excited about that. And, you know, I feel like after the, ooh, we're in love wears off, they're gonna break up and she's gonna be stuck in there. Now, and we know because they have a kid together, his grandson, that they do have a happily ever after. I will say it's a little creepy because she was dating her grandson, but I mean, she didn't know it was her grandson, but still, it's a little bit incesty there. That kind of bothers me. And I'm sorry about all the, it is hot out and there are bugs. I'm not a huge outdoorsy person, and there's been a spider climbing on my phone this whole time that I'm trying to not, like, touch. Anyway, so that really was one of the big issues I had with the movie, was just that the characters aren't going to be able to have a happily ever after, probably because of poverty. Now, there was like an implication early in the book that, or in the movie, that he builds elevators. He invents elevators. And I guess we can assume that if you invented the elevator, you're gonna make enough money that it's not gonna be a huge deal. But I just have a hard time buying that. I don't know when he invented the elevator and how many years you're gonna have to live without basic necessities and kind of be basically starving before your husband invents the elevator and gets rich. The other thing is, Kate was not set up as the kind of woman who I thought could easily be the heroine in a time travel romance, because she doesn't really have any interest or desire in history that much. Like, she loves that Leopold is a gentleman and she loves his very chivalrous manners, but she's not the type of, she's a very modern woman, and she's not the type of person that I could see really getting with this guy and just living happily ever after just because. So those were kind of issues I had with this otherwise cute romance. I mean, if you can really suspend your disbelief, and other people I'd heard complain about the science-y part of the time travel. That didn't bother me so much. It's a time travel romance. I don't need a lot of the science. But if you can suspend your disbelief with the time travel, and if you can, you know, get past the characters' chances of not having a happily ever after. It was a really cute movie, and it was really, like, definitely something a romance buff would enjoy. So I did enjoy it. I just, the end really stumped me and really bothered me. So if you have a chance, it's Kate and Leopold, and yes, you'll see I got it from the library. Support your local libraries, everybody. Go out, if you really enjoy time travel romances, go out, watch it. Tell me what you think if you've seen it. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get more videos where I'm going to be talking about the story and you're kind of reviewing how a story is put together. Mostly with writers in mind, but you know, readers and viewers, I'm sure you enjoy some of the insights as well. Alright, see you guys later. Thank you.